Welcome once again to Daily Life Connection. Let's talk today about the God of the upside down kingdom. The God of the upside down kingdom. Jesus said it to Pilate, "My kingdom doesn't come from this world. My kingdom is not doesn't originate in this world, or is not based upon the principles of this world." Jesus taught his disciples to pray, "Your kingdom come. Your kingdom come." An upside-down kingdom, a totally different kingdom, over and over again in Jesus' relationship with his disciples and with people. He's constantly showing them the upside-downness, if you will, of his kingdom. He says, you know who's the greatest and most important? The one who serves. The one who serves. That's upside down to our world. In our world, the most important people are the ones that get served by others. Jesus said, it's not that way in my kingdom. In my kingdom, it's those that do the serving that are really the most valuable and most important. Jesus took little children and they said, they're not worth bothering with. And he said, no, don't do that. Let them come to me. He gave them priority. Priority to the ones who have nothing really to add to his kingdom other than loving him. An upside down kingdom. In our, even in our churches, sometimes the most valuable church member is the one who has a good reputation in the community and status and money. They get promoted to our leadership teams and so on. That's not the kingdom of God. His kingdom's an upside down kingdom. He says, and I mean, he just, he didn't just talk it with his mouth. He lived it out, didn't he? I mean, look who Jesus chose to be his followers. Upside down kingdom. He didn't go to the religious elite. He didn't go to those with PhDs in, in theology. He didn't go to the ones who had all kinds of money and status in their community. He certainly wouldn't have picked people from Galilee, which was considered the wrong side of the tracks. That's where all the unimportant and people live. And he picked these men who were not skilled in religious things. He picked men who Matthew was a hated tax collector, and on and on. Jesus didn't just talk it; he walked it. He served. He blessed children. He welcomed unimportant people. He gave time and dignity of attention to those that everybody else thought were not important. He was constantly showing us the upside downness of the kingdom of God. I really believe it is. We all like it. We all like the idea, but boy, we find it hard to really put it into practice, don't we? Where we value the ones who are least valued by our society, where we are willing to serve rather than try to seek for being important and having people look up to us and pat us on the back. And it's just so opposite. Jesus' kingdom, God's kingdom, is an upside down kingdom. The first will be last, and the last will be first. He said to the religious people, he said, the prostitutes and tax collectors are actually getting into the kingdom ahead of those of you who have great religious practices and you live really well, righteously, but that isn't getting you into the kingdom. It's getting into a lineup, all right, but it's a lineup for the wrong door. And he's saying that it's the ones at the back of the lineup, the ones that aren't even trying to get in, they're the ones that are going to get in first. Upside down kingdom. It just has so many implications for how we live our day and who we value and how we live our lives out. And it just amazes me how simple it is, but how difficult it is to live in that kingdom. Disney World is a wonderful place, and the Magic Kingdom is a great analogy or metaphor for this kingdom of God. When you go there and you walk into that Magic Kingdom, it seems like the kingdom of this world drops away. All your problems, all your stresses, you are in this magical kingdom where everything is delightful and wonderful. That's the kingdom of God. isn't it? God has set up a kingdom that's different. And he said, it's as easy as going through the gates at Disney. Well, it's easier than going through the gates at Disney World because it doesn't cost us anything to get in, and we don't have to travel to Florida to get there. He said, you can just enter into my kingdom, and when you enter in here, you'll find something so different from the rest of the world that it will be a rest for your souls. It will be a delight. And he said, strive to enter the kingdom of God. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And he's saying that's this upside down kingdom is worth pursuing. Our God of the upside down kingdom. Well, let's take some time today and think about what that means. How is God's kingdom upside down compared to the world you experienced yesterday? What does that have to do with us? How can we enter into that place and enjoy it and rest in it? Well, some things to think about. Let's talk again tomorrow. God bless.